Hello everyone. Today I will show you how to create your own custom Elementor live chat widget. We are going to use PHP, JavaScript, some HTML and CSS for this, so follow along. First of all, let me show you what we're actually building. So over here you see my marketing website, and there is a chat widget over here in the right bottom corner, which allows me to ask questions. So let's say I have a question send, and over here there's a new chat message. This is the view which the administrator will see, and the administrator can say, okay, what is your question? Voila, submit, and after a while, okay, what is your question? I can't find the product I need. And okay, it seems he can't find the product he needs. Give me some more information. Over here, give me some more information. Takes a while because of the interval. So that's the general gist. These messages are stored based on a cookie. So over here there's a user ID cookie. In the database, this user ID groups the messages, and so when we delete this user ID and refresh the page, the user's chat history is gone. So when a user clears his cookies, the chat history is gone forever, but I don't think that's so important. But if you happen to lose your connection and you go back to the website, you probably haven't cleared your cookies yet, but you can still see the previous chat history, which is pretty nice, I think. So now let's dive into the code, how we can actually build this. Alright, so to start off we have to create our plugin folder and the folder structure. So let's do that first. Create a new folder, my chat widget, go into that folder and create a folder called assets and a folder called includes. Then we create a file. This file will be my chat widget.php. This will be our main plugin entry file, and that is the bare bones of our plugin. Alright, now that we have the folder structure done, let's get started with the plugin. So first of all, in the my chat widget.php file, paste this code, make it your own. This will make it so that the plugin is visible in the plugin section of your WordPress plugins, and you have some information about the plugin. Then first thing we have to do is create a database table. Includes create a new file, database.php, and in here we'll open the PHP tags and we'll write a function create chat messages table. We need a few things. First of all, accept the global WPDB variable. Then we'll create a table name, which will get the prefix from WPDB. This will translate to WP for me, and we'll concat chat messages. This will create the following table name. Alright. Then we need to get the char set collate of collat. I have no idea how to pronounce it. WPDB get char set collat. Alright. Now that we have this, we have to create an SQL query to create everything. I will write the query and we'll go over it once I'm done writing. So create table name, open brackets, char set collat, and close, semicolon, close these things. I have no idea what to call them, and close the semicolon. Now in here we'll write our columns. First column is ID, medium int 9, not null, auto increment, comma, user ID varchar 32, not null, message, the text column, not null, timestamp is a date time default null. Sender is a varchar 255 default. Oh, no. And primary on the ID column. Alright, let's go over this. So what this SQL query does, it creates a table with the table name as we specified. It creates an ID column, which will auto increment. It creates a user ID column, which will be filled by a unique generated user ID, so we can group messages by user. We have a message column, which will contain a text message. We have a timestamp column, so we can sort and filter and show when messages have been sent. We have a sender column, which will either be admin or the user, depending on who sent the message, and then we set the primary key on ID for indexing purposes and getting purposes. Now we need one more thing to actually run this query. We have to require once appspot concat wp admin /includes/upgrade .php, and then we have to run wp delta SQL. Okay, what this does is this require once will give us access to the wp delta function. This function will run the query we specified. This function takes care of looking if the table is already present or not and other nice things. And to actually run it, we need to add action init and then our function name. Now this won't work like this. We need to do one more thing. So inside our my chat widget.php, we have to do required once plugin dir path current file includes database.php. What this does is once our main plugin file runs, we will also include this file, which will run the function. If we have done everything correctly, we have not called to undefined function requires once. We of course have to write proper code, require once. Voila, we can activate and deactivate our my chat widget, and this will create the following table with this structure: ID, medium int, message text, timestamp, date time, this format, sender varchar and user ID varchar. Alright, that's it for our database scheme. Alright, now that we have our database table set up, we need an actual Elementor widget class to create an Elementor widget which we can put into our pages. So let's do that first. In our includes folder, create a new file, Elementor chat widget.php. In that file, open your PHP tags, namespace is Elementor, class small c, Elementor chat widget extends widget base. This is just some boilerplate. In here we have a public function get name. This will be the name, the internal name of our widget, Elementor chat widget, and public function get title. This will be the public title. We will make it translatable. Alright, so this will give it our chat widget a name and a title. We also need an icon, public function get icon, return fa comments. This will give it the comments icon because it's about chatting. Public function get categories. This will make in which category our widget will display in, and we'll put it in the general section. And then we'll need a render method, what will actually be rendered by our widget plugin. Public function render. Okay, so first of all we need a chat ID. This will be chat widgets this get ID. This will fetch the ID from the Elementor element and give us access to it. Let's close out of the PHP tags and let's write some HTML. So first we have a div with a class of chat widget and an ID of We'll get that later. Okay, so the ID is open PHP echo chat ID. This is the ID we instantiated over here. Close semicolon and close the PHP tags. Alright, that's a mistake from my side. Also, I need to reopen PHP here, so our IDE doesn't falter us. Okay, in here I have a div class chat messages. This div will function as a placeholder where all our chat messages will be displayed with JavaScript. In here we'll also have a form with the class of chat form, like this, and in here we will have an input type text class, class chat input, like this, and a button with class chat send. Alright, this will be the HTML for our chat widget, but we also need some JavaScript. So open the script tags, do jQuery, document, ready function, accept jQuery as a $sign, open the square brackets, and we'll need some variables. First, for chat will be $. Let's get our chat ID. This will fetch our chat by ID. We need for messages. Messages is chat find chat messages. This is a class, don't forget. Then we need for input is chat find chat input. Now we need a form, chat find chat form, and the send button. Chat find chat send. Let's check if I've written everything correctly. Chat messages, chat input, chat form, chat send. No typos here. Then we'll listen for submits. So form on submit function e. Let's capture the event. Let's prevent default. I will go over what everything does in a second. I have a typo here. So on submit function e, input prevent form on submit function, function, voila. Then for messages, for message only one is the input. We get value, and let's trim it so there's no spaces in front and beyond. So if message, then messages dot append div class chat message plus the actual message. Okay, I have some markup to do here, and then we set our input value val to blank. So what this is going to do is, first of all, we create some HTML which will render a chat box, and then we have a jQuery function that will run once the document is loaded. We will get some information from the DOM, the chat, the messages, the input, the form, and the send button. And then every time when the form is submitted, we will prevent the default, because otherwise we might do a page redirect, which we don't want. We will get the message from the input value and trim it. And if we have a message, we will append it to our chat messages container, and we will set the input value to empty so it can be typed again. Now this code alone won't do it, so now we have to go to the my chat, and in here we'll have to do some hocus pocus to add our widget to Elementor. So first of all, do add action Elementor widgets registered function. Also, I normally put this priority very, is it high or low? High in number, because this will make sure that Elementor is loaded entirely before this is run, because otherwise you get a whole bunch of errors and it's just frustrating. So now we have to require once plugin dir path file includes Elementor chat widget, and then we'll have to get to register it. Elementor plugin instance widget manager register widget type, and then we'll register our new Elementor chat widget. Let's see if that's all written correctly. So at action Elementor widgets registered function require once plugin dir path this file include Elementor chat widget, which is this widget. Then we get the Elementor widgets manager from Elementor plugin instance widget manager register widget type, and then we'll register our widget which we created here. And if everything is set up correctly and we go to our Elementor page, see the plugin is activated, we should see our chat widget over here. There is our live chat widget with the comment, and now I can put it in the footer. I have one here, but I'm gonna delete it like this. We have no CSS yet, so right now we have our chat widget here. Let's publish this, and this was our chat widget. Now we'll have to do something else. Alright, so now that we have our widget created and added it to the page, we need some place in the backend where we can, or a service desk agent can see the chats that have been put out by the users. To do that, let's create a new file called chat messages page.php. In this file we will open PHP and we will run @action admin menu @chat messages page. Voila. Then we will create a function with the same name @chat message page, and in this function we will do @menu page chat messages will be the title. Chat messages. You will have to have the rights of manage options to enter this page, so only admins. The slug will be chat messages with a dash. The function, the callback to render the page will be display chat messages page. And we will have an icon of dash icons format chat, and we will have a priority of 30. Don't forget to add the semicolon. Now you will want this page to include it in here. So right here we will do require once plugin dir path file includes chat messages page.php, close that. And normally when we now go to the backend, we will have a chat messages page which is empty because we don't have a valid callback yet. Let's create that callback. Alright, back into the chat messages page. Let's create a function. This is our callback. We will call it back, pun intended. For this we need the global WPD. Again, we will need the table name, which I will copy from here because I don't want to write it all again. So we will have this. Then we will need some code. So in this page, what will this page be about? This page will be a dashboard where a service desk agent will see groups of messages. So one user is a group of messages, another user has a group of messages, and a user will have a respond field which he can use to respond to certain messages. So first of all, we have to write some code to check if a service desk agent has replied to a message, and if he has, we will have to put that message into the database. So in here we will check if a new response has been submitted. If is set $post user ID and is set $post message, then we will do the following. Okay. First of all, let's get the message. Sanitize text field $post user message, sorry, and then again the user ID. Alright, I have a mistake here. Cannot use ESET on the result of an expression. Alright, I miss a bracket here and I have one too many here. So now that's fixed. We will also have a sender. This will also always be admin because we are working from the dashboard here. And then we have to insert this data into the database. So we have wb query, wb prepare, we make a prepared statement to prevent SQL injections. So in here we have insert into table name, user ID, message, sender, timestamp. The values which will be inserted will be, okay, one moment, okay, we have 4 values, so 4 wildcards to be replaced for S, and we will put in user ID, message, sender, and the current time, MySQL. Wait, let's see if I got everything correct. Okay, this did seem correct. Let's format it a bit better so we have a bit clearer view what we are actually doing. Voila, like this. So W prepare, insert into, this is a bit weird, insert into with the values, and then like this. Then we also have to fetch the current messages, so messages is wb get results, select user ID, message, timestamp, and sender from table name, order by, timestamp, descending. This will give us the messages, but this will not give us the messages grouped by user. So when we run this, not sure if we're gonna see anything. Nope, but I can for dump messages and echo pre, so it's a bit nicer to look at. This is a little bit of debugging, like this. So right now we have, we don't have any messages yet. I will show you later on. For now, let's comment out this code. Sorry. All right. Then we need a little bit more code. I'm gonna see where. I think it's here. One moment. So we'll get out of PHP, and here we'll get back into PHP, and in here we will write some HTML. I have already written the HTML. I'm just gonna copy it and I'm gonna go over it. Okay, so we have a div wrap which has a title of chat messages. If we have no group messages, this is a variable we still have to create. If we have no group messages, we will just show an icon with no messages yet, else we will go over the group messages and show them underneath each other. Let's quickly get the messages as group messages. So this will be grouped messages is group by user ID, and let's give the messages. This function does not exist yet, so let's write it. This is a simple group by user ID, and this accepts an array, which in our case are messages. Result is also an array. We will do a for each array as item, result, item, user ID, and this will be an array, and we will enter the item, and then we will return the result. What this does, it loops over the array given, and it creates a new array where the array elements are grouped by the user ID I will show you an instant. Right now we probably have chat messages, no messages yet. This is not styled yet, but we will do that later. All right, so that's that. All right, so now that's done. We need a way to make our front end chat widget over here communicate with our backend service desk agent, and to do that we are going to create 2 new files. So in assets I will create a folder called JavaScript, and in this JavaScript folder I will create a file chatWidget.ys. We will need to include this chat widget in our plugin, and to do that we will do @action wp-enqueue scripts my chat widget enqueue scripts. This is a function which we will be creating. So we'll do function, and in here we will do wp-enqueue script my chat widget plugins URL. This is where the file is located, in assets JavaScript chatWidget.js. Plugin URL also needs a file where to start from. We will depend on jQuery. The version of our plugin is version 1, and the last parameter needs to be true, but I forgot what that was about. wp-enqueue script, and then we need to do something important. We are gonna need an AJAX URL to make requests to. So we're gonna be sending requests from our front end to our back end, and to do that we need to send them to an URL, but we have no way of knowing what that URL is in our front end, except when we do this. We can do wp localize script. This function is actually written to do internationalization, so translation, but we will get the same idea as this. So we enqueue the my chat widget, and now we are gonna localize it. And how are we gonna do that? We're gonna create an object my chat widget, and this object will contain an array with an AJAX URL, and that will be the admin URL of admin.ajax.php. Let me show you what this does. It's actually pretty cool. I've got a syntax error somewhere. AJAX URL. This doesn't need semicolon. So in here, if we check our page sources, we can look for AJAX URL. So in here we have a var my chat widget, which is an object with a key, AJAX URL, which is a key. So in here in console we can do my chat widget, and this is an object with the AJAX URL. Now we can use this URL in our JavaScript file, which is pretty nice. All right, let's create some JavaScript. Okay, so first of all we have to create we have to initialize the chat widget. So document ready initialize chat widget, and we're going to create a function that does exactly that. So function initialize chat widget. This has a var chat widget, and this is our chat widget, which we're going to select. If we have a chat widget, chat of course, then we will grab some other things we need. So messages, we will get this chat widget, find chat messages. This is exactly the same as we did in our Elementor chat widget, so bear with me. The code will be on GitHub if you just want to copy. Chat forum. And I'm making a mistake here. This is in the form that we're gonna find this chat sent. Okay, closing brackets. So right now we have all the things we need, and we have to write a function. First of all, we will write a function which enables the user to send a new chat message. So function send chat message. This accepts a message. For this, we need a user ID, and this is a bit specific. So for user ID is get session cookie user ID. This is a function that we are going to create, but I'm not going to create it myself. I have already done this behind the scenes, and I'm just going to copy it and go over it. So underneath this file, we are going to create this function get session cookie. This will accept the cookie name, which is in user ID in our case. We will decode the cookie and we will get the parts. Then we check to see if the cookie already exists or not. If not, we will create a new cookie from a random string and we will return a unique ID. This will help us group chats by user ID, and I will show you in a second. Okay, so once we've done that, now we have to do an AJAX request. So $AJAX to use the jQuery AJAX possibilities. The type we're going to send is a post request. The URL, and here is the magic, is my chat widget.ajax URL. What this is going to do is this is going to get this URL in here. Then we have to send some data. The action is send chat message. We will create a listener pretty soon. The message is the message that's been sent, and the user ID is the user ID we've created, or the one that was already in the user's cookies. On success, we will get the response, and we will log it. And on the fail, error, we will get the due to XHR. I'm not going to use that, text status, and the error. We will console log text status and the error if we get an error. But we can't use this yet. So when are we going to use this function? We will use this once a user submits the form. So send on click function prevent default again, so we don't function. What's this? Could not find send. Did you mean send? Ooh, send. Thank you ID. So for our message is the input value trim. This will do the following. Once a user types in here and he clicks send, this function will run. If we have a message, we will send chat message and input file. We'll set it to null. So let's try that out. Open our network. So in here, test, send. Okay, there still seems to be something wrong because that's what I'm trying to prevent. Let's see if that is a problem. We have to do everything in the if statement, of course. Let's see if that fixes my problem. Test. Nope, not yet. Let's see if we can actually find .send. Aha, the JavaScript is not being loaded. Why not? This file is not found. Alright, let's check it out. So in our include, we have made a mistake. Assets, JS, chat widgets. Oh, that's widget. Do we have JavaScript now? Alright, $sign is not a function. That's easy to fix because we haven't accepted $sign in here, I think. Yes, there we go. And now we have chat message. So now we can do what we wanted to test. So I'll send test admin AJAX, but of course it's gonna fail because we don't have an endpoint yet. But I'm happy with this. Let me quickly show you what this user ID was all about, the function we created here. So let's say the user enters the page and he sends a message test. Right now you see that here a user ID popped up, which has a value of a random string. Based on this string, this will be saved into the table here. We can group chats, which is just a nice way to group chats. Pretty awesome, right? Okay, so now we have a way to send messages, but we have no way to receive them in our backend. So we'll have to function for that. In our includes, we'll create another file. I think this is going to be our last file, PHP wise, AJAX functions.php. Again, we'll have to include this in our plugin. So in here, I'll copy this includes AJAX. And my ID is helping me. Oh, that's a bit too much. .php. In AJAX functions.php, we'll open these PHP text, and we will add some actions to accept the AJAX request. So add action WP AJAX send chat message send chat message. This will register the hook, but we will also register it for no privilege. So non-admins can also send messages. We will write this function send chat message. We will need a global WPD. Again, I'm gonna copy this because I've already written it. And we'll need to do some things. First of all, we are gonna receive some post variables. Let's get message, and this is sanitize text field $post message, and this is user ID. I'll show you where these are coming from. So once I do a test, an AJAX request is being sent, and the payload is a message and a user ID, and this is via post, and the action is the actual this part of the hook. So these are these two variables. Sorry. Now we're going to create a data array. Message is message. User ID is user ID. The sender in this case is the user, and the timestamp is the current time MySQL. Okay, so that's that. Now we need a format to put them in the database, which is gonna be $s, and this we need 4 times because we have 4 variables. And now we're gonna call WP insert, the table name, the data, and the format. And then we're gonna double P die because we have to send a sig int. So normally now when we send the chat message test, this should no longer fail. We have 200 OK, and if we refresh our database, we have a test message from the user with their unique user ID. Pretty awesome, right? All right, so because we have fixed this functionality over here, an administrator can also post an answer. This will also be saved in the database as admin with that user ID. And I want to show you where this ID is coming from in the case of an admin message. So over here we have a hidden field, which is a user ID, which gets the user ID from the message that is currently being echoed. So if we check here in the forum, we see a user ID field with I5LU, and that's the user ID of this group message. If we check it for the other one, it's 9NX. So this is that group. Small intermezzo. Okay, so right now we have a bit of a styling issue, and the issue is that we have no styling. So I will create some CSS. Let's go over it. Create a new folder in assets called CSS, and I'm going to paste 2 CSS files here. First of all, chat widget.css and chat widget admin.css. Create those 2 files. I will post the source code. You can just copy and paste the CSS from there because this is not a CSS tutorial. And one more thing, we still have to include the CSS in here. So over in the WMP enqueue scripts, and we will have to also include the following: add action admin enqueue scripts, admin CSS, and this is the chat widget admin, and we're only gonna include this CSS on this page on here because we don't want to include it everywhere. But this is going to include the front-end CSS, so chatWidget.css, and this is going to include chatWidget admin CSS. Normally when I save this, this should look a lot better. So the chat messages are grouped like here, and when we refresh our front-end, our chat widget should be a box. But we have some Z indexing issues. But so right now when I type hello from me, it will be, I thought it would be sent, but we need some JavaScript here. Let's try that next. We are still missing one important bit of functionality, and that is when a user types a message, there has to be a message in here, and periodically this chat widget should call the server to see if there are new messages for the user. So when an admin has rendered an answer, we expect it to show up in here. So let's write that functionality. So in our chatWidget.js, under the function send chat message, we'll write another function, and this will be function update chat messages. In here, we're also going to do an AJAX request. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to edit some things. So this will also be a post request to our AJAX URL. The action will be get chat messages. We will get the user ID, get session cookie user ID, so we only fetch messages for that user ID, and we do last message ID is messages find chat message with last data ID or 0. What this does is this makes sure we are not refetching the same messages over and over. So for example, when you typed hello, admin said hello back, we have 0 and 1. If this function would be called over and over without the last message ID, we would be getting hello, 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 hello. This just prevents this, and this only gives you the message you are interested in. So, and also we have to include here data type JSON. Then, if successful, we receive messages. The error stays like this, and then I'm gonna show some code what to do with the messages. So in here we have, if we have messages, then for messages link we will get the messages via their index. We could also do this with a for each, but we're gonna do a for loop. Then we get the message date. This is the message date timestamp to local string. The sender class is either user message or admin message. This will make it so we can differentiate between user and admin messages. User messages will have a white background, whilst admin messages will have a blue background. And then we have the message. This is just the sender class, the sender, the message, and the message date, and we will append it. Let's see what that does. So right now, after a while, let's see, did we make any mistakes? Before this works, we have to do one more thing, and that is underneath our send. Here we will create a set interval, update chat messages every 2 seconds. This will make it so that every 2 seconds this function is called, and we will also call it once when the thing is loaded. So right now, 2 seconds later, and each normally a request should be made. We made an error. Messages find is not a function. Messages not find is not a function. Messages not find. Okay, yes, typo. So right here, and we have an error because the get chat messages function has not been written yet. In our AJAX functions.php, we have to write one more AJAX endpoint, and I'm gonna copy and paste it here. So what this does is add action WAJAX get chat messages will reference this action, and once this is called, this function will run. So we have global WPDB, the table name, the last message ID. We get that from a post variable that's posted here. The user ID, we also get that from the post. Then we select from the table where ID is bigger than the last message ID. This is to prevent duplicating messages. We get all the messages and we make an empty response object, put them all in there, and then echo it out. Normally when we run this, now our AJAX request succeeds, we get our messages back, but they are not being put in our chat yet, and that is because there's still an error which we'll have to find. Alright, so I found the issues. First of all, this has to be success with 2 S's, and over here I have written messages find chat message list. It has to be last. It's a pseudo selector. If we save this and refresh, we get an AJAX call and our messages are here. User, hello from another user. Admin and answer, hello from me with the date time. And as you can see, it only requests them once because of the last message ID. Nice. So that concludes our tutorial. Let's go over what we actually created. First of all, I'm gonna clear the database, delete everything. All right, so we have a chat widget which we enter into the page with Elementor. When we ask a question, the message will be sent and we will see it here. An administrator will have received this message and he can answer this. Hello, what is your question? Submit and you will see it pop up here. So we have back and forth between user and administrator. That's pretty nice. Now, if another user enters, he will get another user ID, voila, and he can ask something else, and this will start as a new message. Hello, voila, that's pretty awesome. Now, what are some other things you can do to make this even better? First of all, you can make it so that administrators get notifications whenever they receive messages. That's it's a pretty good quality of life, but we haven't implemented that ourselves. Also, we could make it so that this chat widget is closed by default, a little bulb over here, and if someone clicks it, this widget opens. That is just some of many ideas. You can try it yourself and let me know in the comments if you have improved our version. I hope this was useful, and if you like this type of content and you want me to create more of these helpful videos, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.